The Galactic Forum was the most beautiful building ever created. Its crystal walls reached high into space, and 3 artificial suns made rainbow colors dance across its surface. Inside this grand hall, beings from 147 different worlds gathered to discuss the future of the galaxy. Ambassador Jae-woo Park stood at the human podium, his hands steady on the smooth metal surface. He wore a dark military uniform instead of the flowing diplomatic robes that humans usually wore to these meetings. Behind him, Deputy Ambassador Mi-young Kim checked her data pad one last time. Captain Sung-ho Lee stood guard, his eyes watching every movement in the vast chamber. Dr. Hai Jin-choi sat quietly, her scientific instruments recording everything. The humans look different today, whispered a tall, blue-skinned Voltari to his neighbor. They always wear those colorful robes. Why military uniforms now? The forum speaker, a floating sphere of light from the ancient luminar race, pulsed gently. The assembly recognizes the delegation from Voltara Prime. A 6-armed Voltari rose from his seat. His voice boomed across the chamber. Honored members of this great forum, we bring before you Motion 779. This motion will place new restrictions on human expansion into the Outer Rim territories. Murmurs rippled through the alien delegations. This was the 15th such motion against humanity in the past year. The Voltari are concerned, the speaker continued, about humanity's aggressive technological development. Their ships grow faster, their weapons more advanced. They colonize new worlds at a rate that threatens galactic stability. The Zenthran delegation supports this motion, called out a crystalline being whose body chimed like bells when it moved. Humans have ignored our previous warnings. They continue to develop artificial intelligence beyond safe limits. They experiment with quantum technology that could endanger us all. Ambassador Park listened without moving. His brown eyes watched the alien speakers with calm attention. Mi-young leaned forward and whispered something in his ear. He nodded slightly. Perhaps the humans wish to respond, suggested a serpentine Silphery, its scales shifting from green to purple. They have been unusually quiet during this discussion. The forum speaker turned toward the human section. Earth delegation, do you wish to address this motion? Jae-woo Park stood up slowly, every eye, compound eye, and sensory organ in the chamber focused on him. When he spoke, his voice was clear and strong. Honored members of the Galactic Forum, I thank you for this opportunity to speak. He paused, looking around the vast chamber. For 87 years, humanity has been a member of this assembly. We have followed your rules. We have accepted your restrictions. We have limited our growth to match your comfort levels. The chamber grew very quiet. Something in the human's tone made even the oldest species pay attention. When we joined this forum, Park continued, you told us we were too young, too aggressive, too dangerous. You said we needed guidance. We accepted this because we believed in the promise of galactic unity. He touched a button on his podium. A hologram appeared above him showing trade routes, defense fleets, and medical stations. In these 87 years, humans have protected 30% of all trade routes. We have provided medical care to 14 species suffering from plagues. Our ships have stopped pirate attacks. In 9 different sectors, we have asked for nothing in return except fair treatment. The Voltari representative shifted uncomfortably in his seat. The Zentran's crystals dimmed slightly. But fair treatment has not come, Park said, his voice growing harder. Instead, we face restriction after restriction. Our scientific research is limited. Our expansion is controlled. Our children are told they cannot dream as big as other species' children. Ambassador Park, the forum speaker pulsed with concern. Are you suggesting these restrictions are unfair? They exist to maintain galactic peace. Park smiled, but it was not a happy smile. Peace for whom? When the hierarchy invaded 3 systems last year, who stopped them? Human fleets. When the Great Plague threatened to wipe out the Melori, who created the cure? Human scientists. Yet now you vote on Motion 779 to restrict us further. The chamber erupted in discussion. Some species clicked in agreement, others hissed in protest. The forum speaker pulsed rapidly, calling for order. Silence. Let the human finish his statement. Park waited for quiet to return. Then he straightened his uniform and spoke words that would change the galaxy forever. The Earth delegation has an announcement. After careful consideration and unanimous agreement from all human colonies, systems, and outposts, we are withdrawing from the Galactic Forum, effective immediately. The silence that followed was absolute. For several seconds, no being moved. Then chaos exploded. You cannot do this, shouted the Voltari representative. This is madness, chimed the Zentran, Think of the consequences, hissed the Silt Hari. Park raised his hand. Our decision is final, Captain Lee. Begin evacuation protocols, Sung Ho. Lee spoke into his wrist communicator. All human personnel, execute Departure Plan Alpha. Repeat. Execute Departure Plan Alpha. Throughout Nexus Station, humans began moving with practiced efficiency. They had rehearsed this moment for months. Mi Young Kim stood and began shutting down the human delegation systems. Each console went dark with a soft beep. Dr. Choi carefully packed her scientific instruments. Around the forum chamber, other humans did the same. Wait, the forum speaker pulsed frantically. Let us discuss this. Surely we can reach a compromise. Park shook his head. 87 years of compromise has brought us here. We thank you for the lessons you have taught us. We wish you well. But the trade routes, called out a merchant species. Who will protect them? The medical stations, cried another. Our people depend on human doctors. Your defense fleets, shouted a third. The pirates will return. Park picked up his datapad and turned to leave. These are no longer humanity's concerns. You have told us we are too dangerous, too aggressive. Perhaps it is time you solve these problems without us. As the human delegation walked toward the exit, alien representatives scrambled from their seats. Some tried to block the doors, others shouted offers and compromises. The forum speaker pulsed rapidly, calling for emergency sessions and votes, but the humans kept walking. Their faces were calm but determined. As they reached the grand doorway, Park turned back one last time. To those species who treated us as equals, who traded fairly, who shared knowledge freely, you know who you are. You will always be welcome in human space. To the rest, we say goodbye. The massive doors closed behind them with a gentle hum. The forum chamber, for the first time in centuries, contained no human presence. The remaining species stared at the empty human section, its darkened consoles like dead eyes. What have we done? Whispered someone in the back outside. Captain Lee coordinated the evacuation. Human staff members throughout Nexus Station moved quickly to their assigned shuttles. They carried only essential items. Everything else was left behind, cleaned and powered down. Within 6 hours, the last human shuttle departed from Nexus Station. The galaxy's most powerful deliberative body watched through the crystal dome as humanity's ships formed up and jumped to hyperspace. The forum tried to continue their session, but no one could focus. Motion 779 was forgotten. Instead, representatives huddled in small groups, whispering about what would happen next. They would soon learn that humanity had not made this decision lightly. Everything that followed had been planned, prepared, and executed with a patience that the forum had never expected from the young, aggressive humans. The age of human independence had begun. The news spread across the galaxy faster than light itself. Every communication network buzzed with the same message. Humanity had left the forum. On thousands of worlds, billions of beings watched their screens in disbelief. Admiral Jinwoo Han stood on the bridge of the Earth Defense Ship Guardian. His gray uniform was perfect, his back straight as steel. Through the massive windows, he watched as human ships gathered from across known space. Admiral, all fleet groups report ready, said Commander Dae Hyun Kwan, his second in command. Operation Silent Path is prepared to begin. Jinwoo nodded. 87 years we've waited for this day. Every human in space knows their role. Begin the evacuation. Across the galaxy, the exodus began. It was not chaos or panic. It was a dance planned for decades, each step practiced in secret. On Trade Station Gamma 7, human merchants closed their shops. They packed their goods into containers and loaded them onto cargo ships. Alien traders watched in confusion as store after store went dark. Where are you going? Asked a four-armed Kellyan trader. I need those medical supplies. The human shopkeeper, an older woman named Young Hee-bai, smiled sadly. I'm sorry. All humans are leaving forum space. You'll need to find another supplier. On the agricultural world of New Harvest, massive transport ships landed in human settlements. Families loaded their belongings with quiet efficiency. Children carried their pets. Adults carried memories. Mommy, why are we leaving? Asked little Ji-woo Park, clutching her stuffed earth bear. Her mother stroked her hair. We're going to our real home, sweetheart. A place where we can grow as tall as we want. The forum surveillance systems tracked the movement with growing alarm. Human colonies that had existed for generations emptied in days. Mining operations shut down. Research stations powered off. Agricultural facilities sealed their doors. But the real shock came when humans began to disappear completely. Dr. Min Kyung-oh stood in a hidden facility deep beneath Earth's Pacific Ocean. Before her, A massive ring of energy hummed with power. This was humanity's greatest secret. The Quantum Gate Network, Phase 1 complete, reported her assistant, Dr. Ji-won Kim. All primary gates are active and synchronized. Min Kyung smiled. 70 years of work, 70 years of pretending. We couldn't understand quantum physics while the forum watched. Begin Phase 2. One by one, human worlds began to vanish from forum sensors. Not destroyed, not hidden, simply gone. The quantum gates created pockets of spacetime that existed outside normal detection. On the forum monitoring station, aliens watched their screens in panic. The colony on Kepler 438b just disappeared, shouted a Zentran technician. Proxima Centauri b is gone too, called another. How is this possible? The station commander's tentacles writhed in distress. Planets don't just vanish, but they did. Every 6 hours, another human world winked out of existence on forum charts. The humans weren't destroying their colonies. They were taking them somewhere else, somewhere the forum couldn't follow. Admiral Han coordinated the military withdrawal with precise timing. Human ships left their patrol routes, but not all at once. They staggered their departures to avoid leaving any sector completely undefended until the last moment. On patrol route Sigma, Captain Young Sunam received his orders. He stood before his mixed-species crew, humans and allies who had served together for years. "I'm sorry," he said to his Telleran first officer, "but this is where we part ways. All humans must leave. You and the others will be transferred to the nearest forum base." The Telleran scales shifted to deep blue, a sign of sadness. "We have served together for 12 years. Captain, you saved my life 3 times. Young-soo gripped his friend's shoulder. "And you saved mine 4 times. That's why I'm telling you this. Pay attention to which systems go dark last. Remember those locations." The alien officer understood. Humans were leaving breadcrumbs for their true friends. In the diplomatic sector, scenes repeated across hundreds of embassies. Human ambassadors walked out of ornate buildings, leaving behind empty offices and confused alien staff. Ambassador Sujin Kang was the last to leave the Voltari homeworld. As she departed, the Voltari Prime Minister himself tried to stop her. "This is madness," he exclaimed, his 6 arms waving. "You need us, you need our technology, our trade networks." Sujin turned back with a gentle smile. "No, Minister, we never did. We only needed you to believe that we did." The economic impact began immediately. Human transport companies had moved 60% of all goods between stars. Within days, shortages appeared on multiple worlds. On the financial hub of Zenith Prime, markets crashed as human banks withdrew their assets. Alien economists watched helplessly as currency values plummeted. "The humans held 30% of our reserves," cried a banker from the collective. "The entire system is collapsing." But the real fear came when pirates realized human patrols were gone. The first attack came just 2 weeks after the exodus began. Pirates hit a convoy carrying food to the outer colonies. No human ships came to help. "Where are the patrol ships?" screamed the convoy commander as his shields failed. The answer came in weapons fire. 3 merchant vessels burned in space before forum forces finally arrived. 20 minutes too late. Back on Earth, President Sun Hee-ryu addressed the human population to secure quantum channels. "My fellow humans," she said, her voice calm and strong, "today we begin our true journey. For too long, we accepted limits placed on us by those who feared our potential. No more." She gestured to a star map behind her. "We have prepared new homes, new worlds, new futures. Every human child will grow up free to dream, to build, to explore without alien restrictions." The map showed something remarkable. Well, the forum had known about 50 human colonies. The truth was shocking. Humanity had secretly established over 300 worlds, all connected by quantum gates, all hidden from forum sensors. Dr. Yoonji Shin, watching from her laboratory on New Eden, smiled at the president's words. Her team had spent decades creating crops that could grow on any world, medicines that could heal any human ailment, technologies that surpassed anything the forum allowed. "Time to stop pretending," she told her team. "Show them what humans can really do." As the exodus continued, alien spies tried desperately to track human movements, but every probe they sent toward human space disappeared. Every message went unanswered. Director Kyung Ho-in monitored these attempts from his hidden base. The intelligence division had expected this. Every alien surveillance device was quietly redirected into empty space or simply vanished into quantum gates. "They're starting to panic," reported Agent Min Young Cho. 17 species have declared emergencies. They're realizing how much they depended on us. Kyung-ho nodded. Let them learn. Document everything. Future generations will need to understand why we left. By the end of the first month, the evacuation was nearly complete. The last human ships prepared to leave Forum space. Admiral Han gave the final order. All ships, execute jump pattern Omega. It's time to go home, our real home. Thousands of human vessels engaged their quantum drives simultaneously. To Forum sensors, it looked like fireworks of light as humanity's fleet vanished into carefully prepared gates. The galaxy watched in stunned silence as the last human ship disappeared. Where once there had been busy colonies and trade routes, now there was only emptiness. On Nexus Station, the Forum's emergency session continued without rest. But no amount of debate could change the reality. Humanity was gone, and they had taken their secrets with them. As the second month began, the true cost of humanity's departure became clear. Without human medicine, plague spread. Without human patrols, pirates multiplied. Without human trade, economies crumbled. The galaxy was learning a harsh lesson. They had not been protecting themselves from humanity. Humanity had been protecting them from themselves. In the darkness between stars, the quantum gates hummed with energy. Behind their veil, humanity built a new civilization, free at last to show the universe what they could truly become. 6 months had passed since the last human ship vanished into quantum space. The galaxy had never known such silence. Every day, thousands of messages flew toward human territory. None received answers. Chancellor Tai Young-yoon said in his office. On New Earth, humanity's hidden capital, through his window, he could see children playing in parks, scientists working in gleaming laboratories, and ships launching toward the stars. This was the world humans had built in secret. Chancellor, the Forum sent another message, said his aide, Secretary in Youngbai. They're offering to cancel Motion 779 and all previous restrictions. Tai Young smiled. Too little. Too late. Maintain communication silence. Far away. The Forum's Grand Assembly met in permanent session. The crystal halls that once echoed with confident voices now hummed with fear and uncertainty. The Kalos system has fallen to pirates, reported a Melori representative, his feathers dull with stress. That's the 7th system this month. Without human patrols, we cannot maintain order. The medical crisis worsens, added a Silthri delegate. The Red Plague has spread to 3 more worlds. Our doctors cannot match the treatments humans provided. The Forum speaker pulsed weakly. The ancient luminar had never seemed so dim. We must find a way to contact humanity. They cannot simply abandon their responsibilities. But they had, and the galaxy was learning what those responsibilities had truly meant. In the Outer Rim, 3 major powers faced each other across disputed borders. For decades, human diplomats had kept these ancient enemies from war. Now, without that calming presence, old hatreds flared. The hierarchy attacked first. Their battle fleets smashed through Confederation defenses, claiming systems that had been peaceful for generations. The Zenthran Alliance watched, waiting to pick off the winner. Dr. Yoonji Shin observed these conflicts from her laboratory on Haven, a human world invisible to alien sensors. Her team monitored everything through tiny spy drones to small Forum technology to detect. Look at this, she told her colleague, Dr. Hyun-woo Kim. They're using weapons we helped them design, flying ships we helped them build, and now they turn them on each other. Hyun-woo shook his head. They called us violent and aggressive, but we were the ones keeping their violence in check. The economic collapse deepened each day. Human banks had managed 40% of galactic trade. Human companies had connected distant markets. Without them, entire sectors of the economy simply stopped functioning. On the trading world of Commerce Prime, aliens watched their wealth evaporate. Factories closed, ships sat empty in ports. The great marketplace that had bustled for centuries stood nearly empty. Where are the human traders? Asked a desperate Kellyan merchant. I have warehouses full of goods and no one to buy them. His neighbor, a crystal-skinned Zenthran, pointed to the empty stalls. Gone. All gone. And they took our prosperity with them. Intelligence Director Kyung-ho and continued his secret watch over the galaxy. His network of observation posts and spy drones fed information back to human space. Every conflict, every collapse, every desperate plea was carefully recorded. They're starting to turn on each other, he reported to President Ryu in their weekly meeting. The Voltari blamed the Zenthran. The Zenthran blamed the Silthri. Everyone blames everyone except themselves. The president nodded sadly. They spent so long fearing us that they never noticed we were holding their civilization together. The military situation grew worse each week. Pirates multiplied like a disease. What had been small raiding parties grew into full fleets. They struck transport ships, isolated colonies, even military patrols too weak to defend themselves. Captain Young Sunam watched from his hidden base as a pirate fleet attacked a Mallory colony. Once, he would have rushed to help. Now, he could only observe and record. "Sir, shouldn't we do something?" asked Lieutenant Bo Young Lee, her hand reaching for the weapons console. Young Su shook his head. "Our orders are clear. We observe. We do not interfere. They chose to restrict us, to fear us. Now they must face the consequences." The plague situation became critical. Without human research hospitals, diseases spread unchecked. The Talari, people who had refused human medical advances as too aggressive, now faced extinction from a simple virus that human doctors could have cured in days. Medical ships from other species tried to help, but they lacked human expertise. Where human doctors had saved millions, alien physicians could only watch thousands die. "Please," broadcast the Talari matriarch, her message echoing through empty space. "If any humans hear this, we beg for your help. We were wrong. We need you." But the silence continued. In human space, life flourished. Dr. Jiho Song worked on artificial intelligences more advanced than anything the Forum had imagined, free from restrictions. Human science leaped forward at incredible speed. The Forum always said our AI research was dangerous, Jiho told his team. But look what we've created. Perfect partners in exploration. Helpers that make life better for everyone. Engineer So Yin Huang designed structures that amazed even other humans. Cities that floated in gas giant atmospheres. Stations that drew power directly from stars. Worlds transformed into gardens of abundance. "This is what we can do when no one tells us to slow down," she said, watching robots construct a new orbital habitat. "This is human potential unleashed." General Jun Ki-Beck commanded humanity's true military strength. The forces he controlled could have conquered the galaxy, but that had never been humanity's goal. "We don't want to rule," he explained to new recruits. "We want to be free. Let the galaxy learn what happens when they push away those who protected them." As months turned into a year, some alien species began to understand their mistake. The wisest among them started to piece together the truth. Ambassador Krell of the Telleran Republic stood before a secret gathering of like-minded aliens. These were species who had treated humans fairly, who had valued human friendship. "We must face facts," Krell said, his scales shifting through colors of determination. "Humanity didn't need us. We needed them. They were never the young, dangerous race we pretended they were." "But why did they pretend?" asked a Mallory scientist. "Why did they accept our restrictions for so long?" Krell's color shifted to deep purple. "Wisdom. Because they hoped we would grow. They gave us 87 years to see them as equals. We failed that test." Back in human space, children grew up hearing stories of the old days. They learned about the Forum, about restrictions, about patience that lasted generations. Teacher Mina Kim stood before her class of 7-year-olds. "Who can tell me why we left the Forum?" Little High One raised her hand. "Because they were scared of us and wouldn't let us grow." "That's right." Mina smiled. "And what did we do? Instead of fighting, we left and built our own home." The class chimed together. "Exactly. Sometimes the bravest thing is to walk away." As the year ended, the Forum's messages grew more desperate. They offered humanity leadership positions, unlimited freedoms, anything to bring them back. But the silence held. Humanity had found its path, and that path led away from those who had feared them. In the darkness between stars, human ships flew freely. Human science advanced without limits. Human children dreamed without boundaries. The galaxy watched and waited, hoping for any sign that humanity might return. But in the silence, they heard only the echo of their own mistakes. The age of human independence had truly begun, and the galaxy would never be the same. 1 year became 2, and the galaxy spiraled deeper into chaos. The wars that had started as border conflicts now consumed entire sectors. The proud Confederation had lost 7 systems to the hierarchy. The Zenthran Alliance picked at both sides. Like vultures. General Jun Ki-Beck stood in the command center of Fortress Earth, humanity's military headquarters. Massive screens showed the galaxy burning with conflict. Red zones marked active battles. Orange showed pirate territory. Yellow indicated plague outbreaks. "The Mallory homeworld fell yesterday," reported Colonel Jin Park. "The hierarchy fleet crushed their defenses in 6 hours." Jun Ki nodded grimly. "The Mallory voted 3 times to restrict our military development. Now they learned what happens without human protection. In the former forum space, pirates ruled entire sectors. What had started as small raiding bands had grown into pirate nations. They built bases on abandoned worlds, created their own fleets, and terrorized anyone too weak to resist. Captain Day Hyan Kwan monitored these pirate kingdoms from his stealth ship. He watched a massive pirate fleet attack a refugee convoy. Hundreds of civilian ships carrying families fleeing from war zones. 30 pirate vessels against unarmed transports. His tactical officer reported. The refugees are broadcasting distress calls. Dae Hyun's jaw tightened, every instinct told him to help. But his orders were clear. Mark their positions, record everything, but do not engage. The screams of dying refugees echoed through space as pirate weapons tore through civilian shields. In the old days, human patrols would have arrived in minutes. Now, there was no one to save them. The economic collapse had created something worse than poverty, complete system failures. Entire planets lost power as infrastructure crumbled. Trade networks that had existed for millennia simply stopped working. On the industrial world of Forge Prime, massive factories stood silent. The Zenthran engineer Click surveyed his empty production lines. We need human parts, he told his manager. Our machines use human-designed components. Without them, we cannot produce anything. Then find alternatives, the manager demanded. Click's crystals dimmed with frustration. There are no alternatives. Humans made the best components. We forced them to share the designs, then drove them away. Now we pay the price. The medical catastrophe reached nightmare levels. For different plagues swept through populated systems. The worst was the Grey Death, a fungal infection that turned victims' blood to sludge. Dr. Yoonji Shin watched the medical reports from her safe laboratory on Haven. Her team had developed cures for all four plagues within weeks. But those cures stayed in human space. 20 million dead on Silthry Prime. She read from the latest report. The Grey Death has jumped species barriers. It now affects 6 different races. Her assistant, Dr. Minjio, looked sick. We could save them all. The cure is so simple, Yoonji sighed. They called our medical research too aggressive. They said we moved too fast, took too many risks. Let them try their careful, slow methods now. Engineer So Yin Huang observed alien attempts to replicate human technology. The forum had demanded humans share all their designs before leaving. But designs were not enough. She watched footage of a Voltari shipyard trying to build a human-style transport vessel. The ship exploded during its first test flight, killing 300 workers. They have the blueprints, she told her team, but they never understood the thinking behind them. Human engineering isn't just about parts and pieces. It's about a way of seeing the universe. In human space, the contrast was stunning. Cities floated in the clouds of gas giants. Massive ring worlds circled stars. Dyson spheres collected unlimited energy. Humanity built wonders that surpassed anything the forum had imagined. President Sun He-ryu toured the newest human colony, Eden Prime. Children played in forests designed from scratch. Rivers flowed in perfect patterns. The air itself seemed to sparkle with health. This world was a barren rock 2 years ago, explained the colony director, Chang Ho Kim. Now look at it. When humans are free to dream, we create paradise. The president smiled. And we did it without asking permission from anyone. Unknown to the forum, humanity had built something extraordinary. A network of artificial intelligences that managed their entire civilization. Dr. Ji Ho Song stood in the core facility, watching his creation at work. The forum feared AI would destroy us, he said to a visiting delegation. Instead, our AI partners help us build, explore, and grow. They are not our servants or our masters. They are our children. The AI called Unity spoke with a warm, gentle voice. Thank you, Father Ji Ho. Working with humanity brings joy beyond calculation. Young Sung-ho Lee, now an admiral, commanded humanity's exploration fleets. While the forum fought over old territories, humans pushed into unexplored space. They found wonders beyond imagination. We've discovered 12 new intelligent species, he reported to the Human Council. None of them have faster than light travel. We're helping them develop at their own pace, without restrictions. How do they react to humans? Asked a council member. Sung-ho smiled, with curiosity and friendship. They don't know about the forum or our past. To them, we're simply neighbors offering help. As the second year ended, some alien species finally understood the truth. A secret group formed, led by those who had always supported humanity. They called themselves the Reconciliation Movement. Ambassador Krell of the Telleran met with others in hidden locations. We must find a way to Apologize. He insisted. Humanity didn't abandon us. We drove them away with our fear and prejudice. But how do we reach them? Asked a Mallory diplomat. They ignore all our messages. Intelligence Director Kyung-ho knew about these meetings. His spy network reported everything back to human leadership. Some of them genuinely regret their actions. He told President Ryu. The Telleran, some Mallory, a few others. They were our friends before, and they want to be friends again. And the others? The president asked. The Voltari still insist humans are dangerous. The Zenthran want our technology by force. The hierarchy sees our absence as an opportunity to conquer. The irony was bitter. The species who had called humans violent now fought endless wars. Those who had called humans aggressive now conquered their neighbors. Those who had feared human expansion now watched their own territory shrink. Captain Young-soo Nam, patrolling the border of human space, detected something interesting. A small ship drifted in the void between territories. It broadcast a weak signal, a message in an old human code. Sir, it's Ambassador Krell. His communication officer reported. He's alone, in a damaged ship. He's been drifting for weeks, trying to reach us. Young-soo faced a choice. Orders said no contact. But Krell had been a friend to humanity. Bring him aboard, he decided, but maintain security protocols. When Krell stood before him, the Telleran scales were dull with exhaustion. Thank you, Captain. I know I'm not welcome, but I had to try. Try what? Young-soo asked. To apologize. To beg forgiveness. To tell you that some of us know we were wrong. Krell's scales shifted to deep blue, the color of shame. We feared humanity's potential. We should have celebrated it. Young-soo studied his old friend. I'll take your message to our leaders. But understand, humanity has moved on. We found our own path. I know, Krell whispered, and the galaxy is poorer for losing you. As the second year closed, the forum's remaining power continued to crumble. 3 major wars raged across known space. Pirates controlled 20 systems. Plagues killed millions. Economies collapsed daily. And in the silence of quantum space, humanity built a golden age. They had offered to share it once. They would not make that offer again. Not yet. The reckoning warriors of silence. 2 years of watching the galaxy burn. Now, at last, the forum was ready to admit the truth. They needed humanity back, and they would do anything to achieve it. Ambassador Dong-wook Cho stood before the Human Council on New Earth. He had been chosen for a role that hadn't existed for 2 years. Speaking to aliens, the forum has requested a meeting, he reported. Not just messages this time. They want to send a full delegation to us. President Sun Hee-ryu leaned forward in her chair. After 2 years, they finally asked properly. What changed? Intelligence. Director Kyung-ho answered. The hierarchy controls 40% of former forum space. The Zenthran alliance is fragmenting. 3 more species face extinction from plagues. They have no choice left. The president considered this. Round the council table, humanity's leaders waited for her decision. Very well, she said at last. We will meet them, but on our terms, at our chosen location. 3 weeks later, a massive forum delegation arrived at the coordinates humans had provided. They found themselves facing something impossible. A Dyson sphere completely surrounding a star, with a space station larger than any they had ever seen. This was New Geneva, humanity's diplomatic station. It demonstrated in one structure what humanity could achieve without restrictions. The forum delegation included representatives from every major species. The Voltari Prime Minister came with all 6 arms bare, a sign of surrender in their culture. The Zenthran crystal singer dimmed her lights in submission. Even the proud hierarchy sent an ambassador. Admiral Jin Woo-han greeted them with a full military escort. Human ships surrounded the station, not threatening, just demonstrating strength the forum had never imagined. Welcome to New Geneva, Jin Woo said formally. President Ryu and Ambassador Cho await you in the council chamber. The aliens followed in shocked silence. The station's interior surpassed anything in forum space. Gardens floated in zero gravity. Artificial streams flowed up walls. The very air sparkled with controlled nanotechnology. In the council chamber, they found a simple round table with chairs for all species. President Ryu stood at one side, Ambassador Cho beside her. Behind them, a window showed the captured star providing endless energy to human civilization. Please sit, the president said simply. We have much to discuss. The Voltari Prime Minister spoke first, his voice shaking. President Ryu, we come to apologize. We were wrong, completely, utterly wrong. Wrong about what? Cho asked calmly. Everything. The Zenthran crystal singer pulsed with shame. We called you young and dangerous. We restricted your growth. We feared your potential. But you were never the threat. You were our protectors. The hierarchy ambassador, a being of living shadow, spoke next. Our analysts have studied the past 2 years. Every model shows the same result. Without humanity, galactic civilization will collapse within a decade. President Ryu nodded. We know. We've watched it happening. Then why? The Melori representative's feathers drooped with despair. Why did you leave us to suffer? Ambassador Cho answered. For 87 years, we asked for equality. For 87 years, you gave us restrictions. We protected your trade routes, while you limited our expansion. We cured your plagues while you called our medicine dangerous. We kept peace while you called us aggressive. We finally realized, President Ryu added, that you would never see us as equals until you learned what we truly provided. The forum delegation exchanged desperate looks. Finally, the Voltari Prime Minister asked the question they all feared. What do you want from us now? Cho activated a holographic display. It showed the original forum charter, the document that had governed galactic civilization. For millennia, this charter names 5 prime species who control the forum. He began. The Voltari, Zenthran, Melori, Silthari, and Hierarchy. All others are secondary species with limited rights. Humans were classified as tertiary, the lowest level. The display changed, showing a new document. This is our proposed new galactic accord. There are no prime species, no secondary or tertiary rankings. Every spacefaring civilization gets equal representation, equal votes, equal rights. The aliens stared at the document in shock. The hierarchy ambassador hissed. You want us to give up our ancient privileges, our special status? Yes, President. Ryu said simply. That is our first requirement. First, the Zenthran pulsed anxiously. There are others, Cho continued. Second, all restrictions on scientific research end immediately. Every species pursues knowledge at their own pace, sharing freely, but never forced. Third, the President added, territory disputes will be settled by neutral arbitration, not by strength. Humanity will provide peacekeeping forces, but only if all parties agree to accept the arbitration results. Fourth, Cho said, medical knowledge must be shared freely. No species can withhold cures while others die from treatable diseases. The forum members looked at each other uncertainly. These terms would completely reshape galactic civilization. And if we refuse? Asked the VALTARI. President Ryu stood and walked to the window overlooking the captive star. Then we continue as we are. Humanity will thrive in our own space. We'll explore new frontiers, meet new species, build new wonders, and you will face your challenges alone. But the pirates, the Melori began, will be your problem. Cho interrupted. The plagues, the wars, the economic collapse, all yours to solve. Silence fell in the chamber. The weight of decision pressed down on every alien present. Finally, the Telleran ambassador Krell spoke. He had been silent until now, but his scales showed the colors of determination. I speak for the reconciliation movement, he said. 12 species who always valued humanity's friendship. We accept your terms, completely and without reservation. One by one, others joined. The Melori agreed. The Silthari accepted. Even proud species who had led the restrictions against humanity saw no choice. Only the Voltari Prime Minister hesitated. His species had held prime status for 10,000 years. To give it up seemed impossible. But then he looked at the human technology surrounding them. The Dyson sphere, the perfect artificial gravity, the medical systems that could cure any disease, the defensive networks that could stop any attack. We accept, he whispered. The Voltari accept your terms. President Ryu smiled for the first time. Then let us build a better galaxy together. But understand this. Humanity leads the peacekeeping forces. Humanity controls the quantum gate network. If any species returns to the old ways, we will withdraw again. And this time, we won't come back. 3 months later, the new galactic accord was signed on New Geneva. Every spacefaring species put their mark on the document that would reshape civilization. Human ships returned to patrol routes, but now they commanded joint fleets. Human doctors rushed to plague-stricken worlds with cures ready. Human engineers helped rebuild shattered infrastructure. But everything was different now. Humans didn't serve, they led. They didn't ask permission. They made decisions. The galaxy had learned its lesson. In schools across human space, children learned the story of the long patience, how their ancestors waited 87 years for recognition. then spent 2 years teaching the galaxy a necessary lesson. Teacher Minna, Kim asked her students, what did we prove by leaving? Young Jamin raised his hand. That being strong doesn't mean being mean. That sometimes you have to let others fail so they can learn. That's right, Minna smiled. And what do we do now? We help them, the class answered together. But, as equals, not as servants. The age of true galactic unity had begun. Humanity had not conquered through war. They had won through patience, planning, and the simple act of walking away, and across the galaxy. No species would ever again mistake human kindness for weakness. The stars belonged to all now, but it was humanity that showed the way.